But then there's been this rise of the secondaries market in the last few decades. I'd like to hear from you sort of, why was the secondaries market born first, in addition to this primary market that existed? And then how has that evolved to where we are today?
Right. So what you've been talking about in terms of the primary side of the business, and also it gets into the secondary side, that's what we call capital formation, or what the industry calls capital formation. And so that initially wasn't a big part of the secondary market, but it's increasingly important today. When I started in secondaries, including in my prior buy-side role, there really wasn't an established GP secondaries business. Most of the secondaries business, I worked for a GP, I was a member of the investment committee, but we were looking at buying out limited partnership interests in variety of private capital funds.
Like pension funds and endowments, those types, right?
Exactly. So institutional investors that were looking to reallocate positions across their private capital portfolios in what essentially is a illiquid asset class. And so we would come along and provide valuations or pricing around various pieces of their portfolios where there was potentially interest to transact. Many of those transactions are done on a competitive basis, but sometimes you find transactions that are not managed through a competitive process. But in any case, buying up positions in private capital funds and essentially taking on that ownership and that future capital commitments for those funds. And that's been where the secondary market originated from. That's where most of the historic volume has come from. But it's really been, say in the last 5 years that you've seen this dramatic rise in secondaries as a tool for the general partners of the private capital funds themselves, where they're looking at the secondary market as a way to kind of enhance their existing portfolios of assets. And that's been, a huge boost to the business that my firm is involved in, but also to the industry more broadly.